Kuno care? The fuck about it? Just a couple of pigs sniffing.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno.
You're testing.
Get lost.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready.
Alright, Pico. Shit.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug for...
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get...
The kid may have something there. He's already come up with an interrogation technique.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face. Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get... Fuck, does Kuno know?
The lieutenant takes a quick note.
It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it, Kuno.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in? Shit. Get the fuck out of here.
You can't do that, Kuno.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right? Course you fucking can. How do you think Kuno made all the docky boys his gimps? Just gotta fly, pig. Not for you, pig. Kuno can't wait to see...
Kuno can't wait to see you shit your...
That's all there is to it then. Don't be a pan.
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
What?
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself.
Fuck your shit back to normal. What is this?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno shiz...
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything? Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a bottle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno! He's gonna use it against you, Kuno!
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed...
Fuck you, pig! Don't do mag! You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die!
Oh, that? Kuno yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio, fucks pigs, live, fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer. Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Yeah, like a fucking volcano.
You're lucky you didn't die there!
Yeah. Kuno's got some advice. What are you? Like 80, right? Maybe you should stop embarrassing yourself in front of a fucking kid. Kuno doesn't... Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno does...
Hear that? Magnesium. The magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels. Yeah, the other things. Long live the other... Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You need to get so magged up. One stroke, don't be so modest. He's having one right. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. Just remember, it's not the alcohol, and it's certainly not the dex, nor smoking for 40 years. It's... There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run. Your muscles tense up. The vision in your dead angle darkens. You feel the sudden urge to push your hand into his soft gut.
They do after 7 days, yes.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark, delicate, and fragile. They feel alien to the world.
They are armor, no boots. Technically speaking, these are sabatons. Ceramic plate, zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is under the heel. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is at piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information.
If you wear those pieces, it will help me protect your mortal coil. Yes, bullets will fly.
No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics. They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre. The Mazda.
Fucking talking about underpants.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For a full set, about 4 years of wages. As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot. That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound. Suddenly your biceps coil up. Your elbow is sharp and cocked for a punch.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating.
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them. The stench fills your nostril.
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal! What's wrong with you, asshole? Is he letting...
I don't know, baby. I don't know why.
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased foot?
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso covered in tattoos. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester. Oh my, there's something on the belt. A familiar word that's vermilion in yellow letters along the length of the twisting cargo belt. Only a deep longing for vermilion golden spirits lets you decipher the fading logo.
Extremely. Industrial strength, the kind used for tying cargo to lorries. Yes, it looks like they use whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating themselves. I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. You? Yes, it often is. This belt worries me. It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines? This makes getting him down much more problematic. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed.
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great century.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist, and he takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of...
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Sure, just don't lose it.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful. His eyes are milky white and blind, dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The corpse is dead silent.
Who is he? He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
The corpse looks right through you as you distance yourself from its stench. Eyes like a shark.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's down.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cog. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring.
How should I know why you are squinting, officer? Oh. You are trying to assess lividity.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color.
So, what do you think?
I think he's dead and about to explode.
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Malicious laughter erupts.
Big head is...
The lieutenant's face is made of stone.
I think he was upright immediately after death. Blood has gathered in his... The noose acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis here is in tune with the hanging. That's what I think. Yes, there's always a chance we are wrong. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first. There's a strong buildup of gases, yes. Rigor mortis becoming livor mortis. He'll be fully limp by tomorrow.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before...
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting.
There's no question. There's only cutting. How hard can it be?
Someone else? You mean like the police? Someone like a paid garbage man? Or a cleaning crew? I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pigs!
How? Yes, the buckle, where it ties the cargo belt to the tree. If the shot hits that...
Yeah, now we're talking.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss, Kuno!
What else can we do? Climb up there and... There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees. I was really hoping we wouldn't.
Confirmed. It's unsafe. But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
I don't doubt your physical prowess, officer, but that's aircraft strength material, and we do not have a secure platform. The risk of acrobatic failure is one we cannot take. We must not become comedy for the locals.
The fuck have you got against comedy pigs?
We are not getting him down already. Not getting him...
Just pull his rotten head off. The meat's cooked anyway. Give the boot another yank, and it's done.
It's tempting, but decapitating him will make it impossible to ascertain whether he was really hung. The damage to the neck would make coronary work pointless.
He breathes out heavily.
Oh yeah, do this shit! Fuck it up!
I'll blow his head off.
Take it! Take the shot!
Yeah, take the shot.
Silence. With his elbow and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast.
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised. Oh my god. That was so many types of wrong. Who
Fucking idiot!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno...
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun in his...
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlike...
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself. Take his gun and show him how to use it.
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one...
This is the sorriest pair of
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the... You've held this, an A9 armistice, before.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
Kuno is silent. Aggression gap. The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view narrows.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
I agree. Enough gunslinging for today. We need to access the harbor and ask the leader of the Union to have it taken down. They have the tools, and they have men. I did not want us to be indebted to Everard Clare. I wanted us to be able...
You need to suck my dick!
The leader of the Union, a dangerous and corrupt man. One you don't want to be indebted to.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots.
Kuno care? The fuck about it? Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for... Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit...
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor.
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about... You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit. Came around pretending. So yeah, he's the one you wanna talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor. You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. An off-key melody starts playing.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games. Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were... But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore, so I can't help you. Please don't call here again.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead. This button looks new.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
This Post Lavatorie mail collection box has a faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102. The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox. The mail collection box seems cathartic. And then suddenly, you see it over all the other graffitos. The worn and beaten wooden...
We can sit on benches.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Yes? What about me? No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. It's like you're locked down. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
Good. Let's change the subject. Yes? Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged. That's good. Some you time? This is a...
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances.
What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest, with 102 cases solved.
So he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary.
Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of...
A tremble comes over you. Another after effect of ethanol poisoning, perhaps. Feels like leaves do when they rustle in the breeze, somewhere far away, below the turbine. The 41st and the 57th. The lieutenant was...
Yes. I'm an unrepentant spoilsport.
He opens one hand and looks at it. A moment passes.
Which school do you subscribe to? Mambo or Jambo? Hangovers do give officers superpowers. Many drink only to receive the gift. It is good to have a para-detective in a labor dispute. I can see why they sent you. Should we go? Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Magnesium-based life form. We tell them, hell no. You're about to become a magnesium-based life form. The age of the primitive carbon man is done. No longer must mankind rely on slow-working background radiation to take us further into our genetic destiny. This is the era of guided evolution.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami. His posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and a knife in his hand, this man resorts to physical intimidation only infrequently, if at...
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company, and eating this salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins. Sure thing.
It is salty. It is savory.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed Samaran.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't...
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container.
Thank you anyway.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would tamper with it. Yes? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely It must be his name. Garancy. Garancy Quebec. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. The man ponders his cooking utensil. You see a heavy steel door with the cobalt blue surface, old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen.
The winch, outside, in the backyard. Remember? No, your fingers do.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation. Gart is the person to ask about this, the cafeteria manager.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love... Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering it. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for one. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found... Yes?
You see a heavy steel. The door does challenge. The steel doesn't even tremble. Now you're hanging from the handle. Okay, it was a challenge, and you failed. What now, loser? You see a heavy steel door with the cobalt blues, old cobalt paint, rough. The door, a challenge. You're right. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you. He looks up at you, then Looks away. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there. Not thinking about drinking or forget about the bar. Or don't forget about it. You should totally try to get a drink there too. But first, you should lick that stain off. Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you.
What are you doing? We should move.
A real drink would go well with those cigarettes. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead.
Hello again, sweetie. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles.
You've got guns of steel and a chiseled jaw somewhere under the bloated alcohol layer. Maybe she'd like to sponsor you.
You must be joking. Although...
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe...
Oh, I'm sure you would make a wonderful gigolo, dear. With those strong arms.
She's not really lusting after those biceps, man.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything else...
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. That is a book. They have stories inside them. A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved. My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any question. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of fame. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says
there is stress and unease behind these words.
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed. Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are all... Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in...
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir? Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminal. And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Don't say that. He's not even real. You're real. Cheer up, sir. No need to compare yourself to a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real deductive police work, sir. Like in the book. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between... Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though. Sometimes they break up for a little while, but then they always... It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually... Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad... Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in them. Maybe some about other books. Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame. I don't know about that, but I imagine life is great when you're...
They're all dogs. Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't...
Okay.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks around anxiously. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes...
Fritz?
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring This is entirely, completely you.
Oh, Man from Hjelmdal. A very popular series of adventure novels. Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those What does it matter? They're all the same. However, if you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hjelmdalaman, the Man from Hjelmdal. It's supposed
Rows and rows of Hjelmdala men blur your vision. You make out some type, maybe 100. Man from Hjelmdal and those snow crabs are worse than they sound. Not even close. Man from Hjelmdal in hell. Man from Hjelmdal and the forest of slaves. Man from Hjelmdal, nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic background pain. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral.
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a class. Braubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children. Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization. Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral.
An endless variety of sourcebooks. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art. The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium. There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition mega setting supplements module. Nonsense for anemic Beano-clads.
Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biography. Be welcome, and please.
Her face looks powdery and painted from all the makeup.
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go. Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself.
She smiles and nods.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly... Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing... Wonderful! Did you talk to her? Great! On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her? My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. God, I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of... She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress. Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here.
No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne. It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighbourhoods east of Jamrock. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner. Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be...
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
Exactly. She's been too busy helping me here, so she studied at home this trimester. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the...
The woman looks aloof. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only. Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled?
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron, aside from poking at it suspiciously. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held...
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtain. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. Thank you. Let's just...
Lies. Rip them. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you. These shelves are overburdened. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books.
Oh, crime, robberies, murders. You're a police officer, apparently.
Sex crimes did pique your interest. Crime fiction is a disgrace. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work. Furthermore, they have no... What's more, they not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get me... A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of owner. Turns out he fated to solve a case. Yes, there's also the dame who did it. Farewell, my Mullen. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And after all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? Then this is the book for you. The plaque on the shelf reads, "You will attain a place on this shelf one day."
I would say... the greatest innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, a very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage. Certainly, it's prudent for a person...
You feel like you should get this one? Definitely. It's important somehow. Browsing through all the books with all their names, suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tournay racers. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time.
Several maps have been attached. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of... This large map displays archipelagos. You see a Ozon, Laurentide, Fas a la Mer, archipelagos. North Arc. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, radiating outwards from you. The suzerain Revachol. With a radius of 80 kilometers, still, the crown jewel of this Isola would be barely visible. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, connections to other worlds. Words, you have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost perhaps they are gods. Gods of the north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the river Espre. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stellama, Hudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jam. It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets. And no, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged box.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, they're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up, 4 or 5, they didn't get that far. For some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime. Amidst the various books, you find what the point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal. Various paranatural books still litter the shelf.
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is... I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't...
You just can't win.
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. Oh, I found something while you were away. I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does. Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there. Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time. Right, I have to get back to my homework now, before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A door.
I warned you! You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not. What if you just break it down? That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a proper pot. The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish. But the pot, it's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. Only an echo, a hollowed-out, dark echo. Ow, shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Are you all right? This looked...
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't...
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered in dozens of little charms and trinkets. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before... A heavy door with a missing handle. That's right. Steady breathing. Solid core. The room is dimly... It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be... You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side. But you've done it.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
A barbell lies on the floor. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. lift them. Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but you're a savage. A warm wave of accomplishment washes over your head.
Good technique.
The barbell Your flashlight slides over an old green chalk. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still... These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of translucent welkins, with organs shining, and one of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clear. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welking creatures. Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Political commentary. That one has a great beard too. Just look at those details.
The photo collage depicts barren. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of set, albeit dark and cold. This vision also, a pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minute. It looks a bit like an academic calendar. So much pain, back pain, neck pain, headaches, carpal tunnel, chest pain. No gym membership can make up for working in this manner." As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and...
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can see the full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the..." Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired...
The radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone in...
What he means is that these things cost... This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC...
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing it's empty like a beehive without its... The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts... Oh no. It was already glowing and now it's also making a sound. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. Yes. Is that the production schedule? Good. Please repeat the password. No. Still no. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for trace accident without filing a work.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a moment.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received. I will register this login.
That sounds bad. A login. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of...
Fortress accident. Is there a Fortress accident? Is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been... One moment. Fortress accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. Any other questions? Yes, I am alive.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle.
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with...
Now, please tell me if there's anything else. I thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Nothing happens. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. This old fireplace is covered in radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and... You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one looks like a surveillance. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Someone very important. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. Your flashlight, some of the writing has faded with it. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimum. It looks a bit like so much pain. Back, your eyes glide over. The handwriting is only partly legible. The full text reads, heat outside, a cold wind wraps. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has...
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The note is written with a blue pen.
Does it say anything interesting?
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio. So you'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Soif.
Someone who owns a radio computer? My guess is as good as yours, officer. It belongs inside a radio computer, storing...
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
Really? You don't have a single guess? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. But there is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs, rummaging around.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez.
He likes this find. A few bricks have fallen off. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Only the black cable is plugged into the breaker box. Something close to you dies with a...
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying. You slip your fingers under the frozen... No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry...
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there, you can equip it to a health...
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it, slow. The bear's eyes are dead and empty.
Okay, what do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace? Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine...
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can pretend there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into...
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, but I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology. Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death. No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
Tiles on the cube are like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. The speaker comes.
Good afternoon. Please repeat. Good. Please repeat the password. Précis fortress accident. Is there anything? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things? Why do you think there's something on the other side, necessarily? In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Those curtains prove to be
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things? Thanks. In any case, there's no way we can get in right now.
Bent metal. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter. Kudos.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy. I suppose it's all over now. Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't... I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything.
Host Almighty, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area.
Her facade has dropped.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her. Yes, I've heard that she's barricaded herself inside. It's connected to the central furnace in the basement. You should go and find it. Got some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to... Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the curse. It's so much worse than you could... It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet. blessed by desert pygmy shamans with a spell. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle. Your money disappears into the coin slot. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some...
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
All around you, rain falls on the great... The spring thaw must be here. Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hat. Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your disco blazer grow heavy. You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat or a patrol cloak.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. You should get a raincoat. There's a freight to the east. They sell them there.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe.
She scrunches up her face into...
Fine. For it doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying... Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent.
Here you go.
Colourful
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Here you go, mister.
Well, hello. Someone seems to have... What a solid can of mass-produced piss water. Well over 10% alcohol. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol. There's a satisfying pop as the cap comes off, and the hair on your back rises like a nothing. Some mental stuff. Nothing to be worried about. A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's an alcohol button. Alcohol gives +1 to physique skills. Physical...
From the void we came. The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals...
No. You need tear.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays,
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
Good one, officer. Don't worry. We here have solidarity. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife? The little boy had it good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk union man about some...
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I do.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing, but okay.
A Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
He thinks, not yet. Better to get this business out of the way.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way. Body still hanging in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union convention.
What's the matter with this wimp? Is he obstructing justice?
No need to get aggressive. I'm really not the one to ask. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself. I walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin narrowly slips by your outstretched.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect. Then...
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are...
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side.
Rights of people. Rights of workers.
To have gainful employment. Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the...
Right to work! Right to work!
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to... We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't...
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights.
When the man moves around, you perceive some serious... There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces... His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls held up by him. He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not.
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market. The rules...
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
What's it to you?
No. Don't think we've met before. I came to help out. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy...
A monstrous shadow high above the fire traps of the domain. The 881 motorway running over this district of Jamrock. Concrete pillars rise up from the midst of the dilapidated wooden houses. On the horizon, barely life in the domain is even worse off than in Martinez. The cold air is stiff. Below, broken down, battered people mill on the dusty streets with no purpose. Yet amongst them, there is no sight of this man. Nowhere.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
He's stopping this to control himself. You were onto something.
Right to work! Right to work! Sure, things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Like civilized folk, you mean? These native...
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, what's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right?
A monstrous shadow high above the fire. Life in the below. Broken down, battered people mill on the dusty streets with no purpose. Yet among...
Yeah? What makes you say that?
They know me. That's bullshit.
lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy the windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings. The driver has adorned his space with a large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The back end of the cabin has a small perched
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously. He was acting tough before. This probably scared him a bit. Who knows when it will come in handy. Of the traffic island. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III." As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice? Or if we connect every bullet hole in Martinez to the murder, we'll get an I've made a note. Don't hold your breath.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sight. A silver plaque on the statue's. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. Small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands. No response wherever this woman is.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
For something odd?
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer from another planet. It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is...
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon... Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I... Everyone's a critic, man. So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh, the bosses, man. Makes sense. sucks is what it does. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that. Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. They usually get shipped to Grodd and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty? Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand...
There's no denying it. Your body needs to feel the touch of some good performance.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was...
Never. They would never illegalize. The man taps his fingers rhythmically.
Don't be a stranger.
You see a heavy steel...
Can I help you?
An old call box with a... You ring the doorbell. Just seeing the words Andro Orlando gets your hackles up. It's all you hear is static, but no one answers. You ring the doorbell, but you wait for a minute or two. But all you get from the call box is sight. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore. You hear static. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to play...
Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
It's a woman, and she knows you. She must be mistaking you for someone else.
Michelle, just please.
Sounds like a ghost. Wind blows through your clothes and you feel detached from your surroundings.
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to live here, it's different.
A spot of static overrides her words.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally meet again.
She sounds like she's about to cry. The cold is deep under your skin, as if you were talking to someone who's 100 years away. Somewhere inside the building, water is... She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks empty.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. Silence. No one's home at Fortress. Silence. No one answers the door. Nothing happens. You're going to just stand there and take it from a doorbell? Like a cat's whiskers, your moustache feels it first, followed by...
That's unsanitary.
Silence. No one answers your call. An old call box with a matrix of push buttons. The trash container stack. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Fuck does Kuno care? So? North Jamrock. Kuno meant everything north of 881. The rooster fucked Kuno's words.
Kuno sent your fat ass running...
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the... After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you...
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't
I'll die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games.
Get the fuck out of here, face.
So it's a girl.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. I come from the woods, good David.
Don't be traumatizing it.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails.
Noted.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white...
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with you. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance. Over the... That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. I was under the assumption we could ask the leader of this union to help us get this body down. Or it could be that we are just exploring. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you.
Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM marking. The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous... That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK. His eyes trace the crane's...
Yes. We were in the middle of something. Your cloak.
Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your ears. You are ready for your rendezvous with the... Martinez goes about its daily routine as you soar through the air. The loud voices of protesters mix with the engine sounds from the traffic. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your ears. Martinez goes about its daily routine as you soar through the air. The loud voices of protesters mix with the engine sounds from the traffic jam. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete. front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late, because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism, because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the commune are. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages, the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and Le Comrade. As you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, but, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of so please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs,
what do you expect? It was laying around the...
You flip back to the front of the magazine, the table of content. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the... Whoa. Bear wrestling. Flip back to it seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative in the People's Republic of Samara. According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the S. Based on the description in this article, he appears it's quite straightforward. A standard match features one man, or in some cases woman, against one bear. Two competitors, one ring. According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and that's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is the best defense against...
The Samaran People's Republic? No, I should expect not. Why do you ask? I suppose that would be something to see.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. It takes a moment, but gradually, as you leaf through this section, you come across... The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tour. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A. The actual article is surprisingly light on details. If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feed. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then there's the practically criminal. Oddly enough, this article has two bylines. Nasdaq, under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent, and that precisely is what's problematic about it. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races. You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment.
Ah, come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads one or two books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of... Unsurprisingly, much of this you skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, it goes on to call the Wild Pines a nightmare. You flip back to the front of the magazine. Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it. Oh, yeah, like a horse. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop. You didn't log that in as a donation either. You don't log any of that shit in. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? The Gart man has set himself up one of those self-replicating money structures. You should learn from it. Don't play the victim. Think hustler. Look, the immigrants are cool. The immigrants play cool music. Boo-hoo. The system is broken. The establishment is... That's right. 100%. Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket. Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax. 98% of all your money. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples? It's all about the tax issue, hustler. No other problem in the world is as Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey. You. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings. Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Of course you do. You are failure. You are communism. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, you alone, against every living thing. Against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an imposter. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend. Now get to work, comrade. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few. On second glance,
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus the drawer slightly. The file cabinet stands steady. Hundreds of documents containing and the same materials being handed over. You already went through all of these. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background. It appears to be a to-do list written in. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. Special whirling borscht. Water Everard's plant. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating.
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? The drawer.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The knives are still missing. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Undoubtedly. Sure, why not? Nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, This is the night watchman's booth. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather. The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, Prophet's disease. Don't think about that. Quick, Think about something else. The enormity of the case before you dwarfs the list of side effects. You can't... You stand and exit.
If you must. But please hurry. We are
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photo. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young.
Why did you take that? Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
Control panel with several knobs. Marsh. On. Arrête. Off. The crane stands tall, proud, erect, with a loud grind. The crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again. Now, the rusty control panel grows a faint smell of burning rubber.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit to.
Before you stands a cargo container. Just one.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? You just picked one out because we are not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the body down from the tree.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like you attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. You attempt to your left, the lieutenant...
Container, I'll turn you nice and red.
The accent is so thick, it's impossible.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Everard, he looks after everyone. I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators. Sure, mister. About what? Oh, yes. Born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit... People say us Ubies are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you...
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, but Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation for a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off. No, I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get them in trouble over a little drinking. Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Lee. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. And Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down besides. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, but she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighbourhood. If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years she has.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright. Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's... Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant. And now he's just nodding along.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of container...
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both... Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Marginise what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school, we did, when we were both... Oh, Mr. Everett is usually in his office, of course. But he already left for the day. He always leaves around 10 p.m. Bye-bye now.
A large table with two huge... You snatch up the red plastic card. It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects...
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more... I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure? Regular people just... The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a...
Honestly, that sounds like an amazing...
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. That they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier. Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners. Typical Martinez streetlight sits among the light pole, has been carefully cut.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful.
It was brought to me to...
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever.
700 real.
A bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet-talk you into buying trash.
Hey, I don't know where it came from, but it's not every day you get to buy and sell something so extraordinary.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12. If police work means playing tapes, sure. You... Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor, and
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear...
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have...
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man...
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend. About a man who rides the 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you. A giant sword in each hand. Smells like worn cotton. Worn cotton with a side.
Sniffing is okay. But please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just... I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan. Most people don't think that the man from Yelmdale really existed. I mean, even if the man from...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. Besides, I've been to Kotla. Though not quite...
Stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy. But...
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
You should.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding.
It's not often that I see off. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light.
I haven't had any problems myself. Those...
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through here. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me...
He's well composed, but unentertained. He might be high. If he is, on what? Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind... A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them. Prolidon is just something I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade.
He's taken for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation line.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. So much disappointment. An early death. No one's. Everyone.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor. The cleanup happened 15 years ago. Oh, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question.
What? So the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. She didn't seem like a policeman. Although she kept referring to herself as a pig. Truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder in...
My apologies, officer, but I have
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Of course. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any question. I do my best to keep my distance.
No one likes to see what you have to see every day.
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't ask around the harbour.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from...
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some?
No one was defrauded or jumped.
Of course. I meant no of...
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type. Guess. No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Oh, you know, Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, Liquid Shadow cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key. As you hold the metal, you sense the warmth. There is no... You hear the shower. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door does not care. This is the door to the room you redeck.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum.
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my note.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's,
keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit, below it all.
You're cold, detective. Again, I only have exactly one every night.
Below, The city trembles with its remaining lights. People are rushing home.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not. Our inspection could have been more thorough, as it always can, but we have some leads we can follow up on. The body is still hanging from that tree, which is unfortunate, and there's still much to do at the crime scene. It's not my job to evaluate your methodology, officer. I'm just good. We didn't get to meet Eva Claire, but we did get into the harbor. We didn't talk to the White Man's Rep. We really must do. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot.
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until you get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couvron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. The coalition government and the moral intern. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to, or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. It's probably more honest, yes. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it. The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats. Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline.
Something even a little feminine. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age?
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to...
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen. Do you? Well phrased. I understand answering to foreign powers doesn't sit well with immigrant bashing, but without EMI, we would be common vigilantes. That's just the way it is. Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string. From east to west, the dying lights of the city shimmer below.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. The fan is spinning. The lights are on. The lights are off again. The blades come squeaking to a halt. The switch must be broken because nothing happens. The air in the room is starting to feel like vaporized. The switch must be broken because nothing... The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The bed is cold. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you... And then sleep. And then sleep doesn't come. Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling smells of alcohol and sweat, and it barely covers your toes. A bit tense in the muscles. Relax is a little better. Colors, scenes, and something to do with. What was it that the lieutenant said? Union, your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood? You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there, one hand on the bottle and the up. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell? No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed, Elysium. Everything. The Pale and the Isolas. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. No, you haven't. You're just sleep-talking. And the actor's wearing thin. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in... Stinky boy. You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bump, you're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just...
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourished. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good going, buddy. Yes, wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good... You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is. It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline. Of course, Martin, you and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home.